I've got a completely new program to show off this week because I failed to hit my summer dunk goals. So, new season, I'm going to go over the highlights from the past summer, talk about what went wrong, what I'm going to be doing differently. Got dunks, lifting, some building, cooking. All right, so I went from 227 to 184.6 at the lowest. One of my biggest goals was under both off the dribble. I went from 9 foot 5 for 20 to 9'4", 5 for 5. Man, that was a good day right there. I was actually at 196 body weight for this session. We'll talk about that later. 9'6", 360 East Bay, 9'6", reverse 360 windmill, 9'9", 1 foot East Bay, 9'7", standing mill, 39 off the 3-step, 41 off the 5-step. Keep in mind, all of those performances are in training blocks whilst fatigued. Anyways, what went wrong? Starting weight was too high, which made the cut too long. That's going to be a big factor. Near the end there, like I mentioned, I was jumping pretty good at 196, and I was hoping those last 10 pounds would make a big difference, but I ended up just being too burnt out. The cut had run too long, and that was a big problem. We'll talk about all those other things in a sec, but as far as this Monday training day, hit upper, and the forecasters sold me out. So I went to the track. I have some triple jump spikes now, so I can do some training outside. And I'm going to be getting a hoop for dunking indoors. It fits in my car, so I can bring it to a court and do some indoor dunking. But I'm really enjoying these plyos outside. Triple jump here. Another big thing that I think caused me to fall short is I was doing the 3x a week dunking, which is great, specific stimulus, but I have been dunking 3 times a week for a while. So while it's a really good stimulus, the best stimulus for jump training, it is objectively stale for me. It's not going to be a foreign stimulus. The weather cleared up. I was able to get some dunks in at the end there, 9.6 for the intensive dunk of the day. But anyways, in the future, all the dunks, the only dunking I'm going to be doing is just for the sake of getting better at dunking. And I'm going to try and use the plyos to drive jumping higher for me specifically, because I am very adapted to jumping frequently. Fake behind the back there. It's an opposite spin, reverse 180 mil. That's a right-left off the dribble East Bay. I'm doing some snatching here. A lot of focus on my technique. I find that sometimes I hit the bar forward with my shins, so I'm starting it a little further forward there. And on the clean, it's a hand clean. Not really bending the back knee. I haven't done split jerk in ages. Also, my Olympic lifting is going to be super low RPE for the next little while. I'm going to be focusing on strength and plyos for the most part. And the Olympic lifts will be RPE 6, just doing it for the technique. It will be in 3 times a week, though. Off the pins, working on creating that force immediately. This had been a long day. I was still locked in, though. And then it's a close stance, heel elevated squats for high reps. Okay, I needed to build something for the next day here. So I got this wood for free on Marketplace, and I got building on that. I was building a plyo box. Anyways, on the cut, I was eating 2,200 calories on off days and 2,500 on training days. Now I'm eating 2,800 on off days and 3,400 on training days. Yeah, buddy. Some pancakes. All right, it's the morning of Wednesday now. I am hitting some weighted med ball standing jumps. This is something I realized about why my standing vert wasn't going up. I thought that doing more standing jumping would help, but now I think that standing jumping just isn't stimulating enough of a stimulus. Like, with no weight on you, it's just not stressful enough like approach jumping is to yield adaptation. So we're going to be switching it up, do some of these triple broads. And anyways, let's get back to why summer didn't go my way. I did a lot of 3-step off the Vertec for some reason. I just got fixated on trying to get better at that. That was silly. I should have been doing full approach. I just wasn't thinking. All right, not enough time. Yeah, that's an obvious factor. I just ran out. Winter came, right? Never took volume out. Yeah, so I never really took the volume out of my training. I was still doing high volume squatting and all that stuff because I didn't quite get close enough to do that. And then the big question is, am I overtraining? That's always a big question. Anyways, you can see I was ripping some plyos there. I made up for missing the dunking by doing the hand skills. So I'm hoping that's something I can do if I can't make it to the indoor court or it's raining. If I just do the plyos and do the hand skills, I'm missing out on the specific translation to dunking, but I'm getting a lot of stimulus from that. I think that's a feasible option. These seated jump ups are terrible. Those are coming right out of the program. Awful exercise. Okay. Some hang pulls. These are also coming out of the program after running through this week one. It's sometimes with a week one, you just, especially on a really new program, you got to test it out and see what's up. I'm trying to toe the bar here, so not bend my arms as much, but I notice when I do that, I end up looping the bar and pushing it out for me because I'm not bending my elbows to pull myself under. And I'm going to work on that later in the week. All right, we got some clean pulls. 225 was looking pretty good for the powers. Low key there. And then something crazy and terrible happened. I'm doing this pin bench. And if you'll remember from past videos, who watched those, I suffered from some back tweaks for a while. And somehow, on this last rep, I tweaked my back. You see, I go to put my hand behind there and feel what's up. Anyways, I finished the workout. I was super depressed for the next 2 days because the back pain will just get you, man. Oh, man. Anyways, I got some new habits. I'm loading up. I bought a saddle chair, which is going to be better for sitting. I think a big problem with my back pain is I'm just sitting for hours on end writing programs for work. I just can't rock the standing desk, dude. I don't like it. I got some pineapples and bananas in the Greek yogurt there. The pineapples is a new ad. I really like eating those. Again, with the low RP Olympic lifting, some no contact snatch, and then just a normal clean and jerk, I think. Yeah. Oh, I believe there's a pause jerk, actually. This was supposed to be a pause jerk. There you go. Okay. 484 for 2. If you remember, I am signed up for a powerlifting competition. I don't really even know what the idea with that is anymore because I was going to do it at a really light body weight and try and make it, I'm at the light body weight. I am 190 right now, so I'm still light, but I don't know. I feel kind of weird about it, but that's apparently happening in 2 weeks. 513, and I tweaked my back again. Yeah, I was feeling better after the bench one, and I just got it at the end of the deadlift there. It wasn't as bad. The way my back tweaks work is that I'll tweak it, I can't bend over for the rest of the day, and then I'll sleep and feel 90% better. So it's very strange to manage. Okay. We got some lean forward Bulgarian split squats. Hitting the glute. And then some chest supported row. So I did finish the workout. Back wasn't too bad for the rest of this day. Here is some off day stuff. Working on my hips a little bit. I think that will help out. There's an adductor bridge landmine hip airplane. I really like hip airplanes. I thought that was a fluky exercise. It's actually quite good. Saturday rained and then Sunday also rained. I showed up to the triple jump thing, man. Oh my God.
Our arrows will blot out the sun. Then we will fight in the shade.
So I had to do the triple jump hopping workout again. I'm doing some warm-up plyos here. There is supposed to be max velocity at the end of the week and a different plyo workout, but this one can swap around. So I ended up doing the max V on Monday, and then you'll get 2 max V sessions next week with the free lap because I bought a free lap. I bought a timing system, really investing in my training. We're trying to make it go better. These square jumps are really good. This is an amazing exercise, about 80 inches. So you just kind of make the square bigger as you go. My obliques were lit up, my adductors, and it's a plyo. It's amazing. Okay, 12 meters on the static 5x single leg, 14.5 with the run up added in. I tried to film the triple jump, but as I was warming up, anyways, I want to loop back around to the am I overtraining question. The answer is yes, to a degree. Like, the benching isn't helping with all the other stuff I'm doing, and these workouts take a really long time. But I do think what I'm doing is recoverable, and probably the biggest problem with why I fell short was just that the cut ran too long. I didn't have enough fuel. 300 for 3, that's not bad considering my bench was detrained. I took a week off prior to this. Also, on the overtraining topic, you'll notice that this new program is 4 times a week. I found while I was reflecting on my training in general that the Sunday day I was doing with Olympic lifts, deadlifts, and bench wasn't the most conducive to my overall goals and my development. Maybe the deadlift was, but the other two, not so much. And then it was like a big day that was fatiguing. I tried to put low bar squats on that day too to justify it a little bit more, but then I found that those still cooked my legs. I was hoping that maybe the low bar wouldn't cook my legs that much, but it does still get the quads. Okie dokie. This is the third squat of the week. 2x8, 315. Pretty easy. And I'm doing some wide squats here. 275 and then 255. I actually find that this makes my hip positioning quite good. I might have to play around with a wider stance. That is why it's good to switch things up. What do I got for the dunks here? Working on a snake dunk a little bit. I'm just showing here that it's kind of like a horizontal motion. All right, I think that's pretty much everything. Check out linksathleticdevelopment.com. We got big videos coming up for the next couple of weeks. I'm excited about this new program. We'll see if I end up doing the powerlifting meet. All right, last word, under both.
But what I do have are a very particular set of skills. Skills I've acquired over a very long career. Skills that make me a nightmare for people like you. I will look for you. I will find you.
And I will under both.